Hey there, I'm going to probably splice this into something, but this is the heat stick, and this is the foam cutter thing. I'm using a single right now. I used a double for a little bit, and man, I should put more heat in here, but look what it did. It burned this up. I mean, I wasn't even that hot. This is full hot right here. I'm just about full hot. I had it back here on that, and I smelled it, and I looked over there and it burnt this up. All right, this neck finally came off, and so we're looking at this and we're seeing what the problem was. And you know, again, I used the heat stick here. First of all, you can see there's just a ton of glue right here, and this is Titebond glue, so it's going to be very rubbery. And in fact, as I push around it here, I mean, you can see it's just rubber. The heat, it's not nearly as soft as that would be if that was steam. And typically somebody used a lot of glue to hold the neck together, so it's really hard to get off. There's a dowel in here. What that's for, I don't know. Let's see if we have a broken. Sometimes there's a broken dovetail and people use that. Okay, but here's the main problem of why this neck was so hard to get off. Whoever did this neck reset before used shims on the whole way right here. That's really unnecessary, because if you study the way a neck works, only the bottom half pivots. So there's a pivot point right here on the neck, and this part wants to pull that direction, but this part up here wants to pull this direction. So these shims do nothing really except make the neck hard to get out. So with the heat stick, what was happening was it's just filling up this joint with heat, but not getting much heat up into here, and so that was super sticky. Had I used steam, the steam would blow up. And in fact, the problem with steam that people don't like steam is it'll blow steam out here on the side sometimes, but that means that your heat is coming up the entire joint like this. So your steam's going down here, steam is blowing up out of the joint, and it'll blow out on the side sometimes, and it'll blow out right here and cause blushing, and that's why people don't like steam. However, that same disadvantage also brings the heat up in here, and had I been using steam, I would have had a lot less trouble here. Plus, I would have been able to take the needle, and instead of sticking it all the way down up here, I could pull the needle up about right there, and I could blow steam into this area of the joint and loosen it up. So my verdict on the heat sticks is, I think I'm a thumbs down on them on the whole. I'm just more comfortable with the steam. I've done 500 neck resets, and 495 of those were done with steam, and 5 of them were done with this heat stick. This one was difficult. I literally have been here for an hour doing nothing but heating this. Plus, steam, because it rises and blows up here, it will keep this area here from getting glued back down. So after I loosened the fingerboard extension and then it dried, it got cool again, it glued itself back down, and the heat stick did nothing to keep this loose. In fact, one technique that I use a lot of times is to deliberately not loosen this part, and as I'm steaming it, I let the steam loosen it up. It keeps steaming here. By the time the steam loosens this up, the neck's ready to come off. So there's your verdict on there. So I don't know. I don't think I like the heat sticks that much. I'm going to be looking for another pressure cooker. And also the other thing I noticed here, the heel is really, it's not really hot, but the heel is hot. I mean, it's warm. The heat stick was definitely heating up this whole joint here, but it just didn't do a good job of getting that Titebond. I mean, that's on there tight, you know? I mean, it's, well, Titebond. But if this was steamy, I'd be able to just peel that off. Now I've got this hard glue mess here I have to clean up. Okay. Anyway, that's us in the remote shop here in Los Alamos, and this neck will go back with me to my other shop, my real shop, where I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to be looking for a pressure cooker. Bye-bye. All right, we're back, and I put together a steaming rig this afternoon for less than $20. And here's my pressure cooker, my new pressure cooker. And what I did is I just went on the Facebook page for Los Alamos and I said, does anybody have a pressure cooker sitting around that I can have or buy for cheap? And I need the old-fashioned kind with the valve on the top. About 10 minutes later, I got a PM from this lady and she said, I've got one that you can have because I've gone to a modern crock pot. Went over and I picked it up. It's got the valve in the top here, which I want. I went to the auto parts store. I got the heater hose here. Like that, which fits on there really tight. I don't even have a clamp on it right now. And down at this end, I got a thicker piece of hose that slips over it, so you have a little bit of insulation. And that is a basketball needle that pushes in there and is not even wired on, because when you push the needle in there, it'll make this thinner hose fatter, which locks it in here. So what you got to do, let me set my GoPro up here. Get my GoPro set because I found this out. What you got to do is put the thin hose through the thick hose first. Push it through, then put your needle in there, and it's going to expand this hose here a little bit. And then when you pull it back in, it's going to lock pretty tight right here. See, I have a double layer of rubber right here holding that needle on there. The hose, the needle, for 15 bucks. Total. Crockpot was free. It works beautifully. Let's see, okay, fine. I had to get this. I got the heating plate. However, I also use that heating plate to heat my bridge plate irons on, so it serves double duty. And over here in Los Alamos, I do have brought a couple of bridge plate irons. Here they are. I just brought 2 of them. So I'm gonna have to have something to heat them on. I had to have a hot plate anyways. Okay, so I took this neck off of this one guitar here because I wanted to try this. And look at this. Look at all that glue. And there is no way, I would not feel confident in that heat stick at all, getting that loose. This took 5 minutes. 5 minutes of steaming. And that's with the basketball needle too, which I don't like the basketball needle. I got it because I could get it at the hardware store. I'm gonna spend the money and I'm gonna get the StewMac needle, which is about that long. I originally started with one of these basketball needles, but after using the StewMac needle for 20 years now, it works better because it does put the steam farther down. I got a lot more steam with the short needle. I got a lot more steam coming out on the sides, on the top of the guitar, which I think is what people object to when they don't like the steam. StewMac needle definitely gets the steam down further. It's a way to go. And so that's going to cost me 30 bucks or something like that. But I didn't have to have it, if I was just doing 1 or 2 neck resets. The basketball needle worked pretty good. And I think John Arnold, likes them anyways because they shoot steam out the side, which you can turn it and so you can shoot steam off into the crevices and across it, which is one thing that you really couldn't do with the heat stick. It just generated heat and you didn't have any control over it. But anyway, after I pulled this neck off, I said, man, look at all that glue right there. And that was exactly the situation I had earlier when I had all this globby glue right here and the heat stick was just not getting it loose. Lots of glue up in here, like that. So I don't know, man. 5 minutes, as opposed to the other one with the heat stick, it took me over an hour. And I mean, nothing was happening. I was forcing it, and I just don't like that. That's why I like to use a lot of heat on the bridge plates and things like that. I have just found that a lot of heat fast works better for me than a little bit of heat slow. I don't know. It's just me, okay? I want to show you one other thing here. I talked about not having a bridge pin hole template here in Los Alamos, and one of my subscribers emailed me and contacted me about it, and look at this cool thing that he sent me. This is a plexiglass template with the numbers in it. What's really good about this one that the LMI metal one does not have is it's got a center line on it, and it's got center lines going through the holes here. And I am really looking forward to trying this out because I don't drill through the template. I just use it to mark. And what I'll probably do is get a drill bit that fits this. There we go. This drill bit fits it 11/64. So what I would do is I would use this drill bit to punch the holes, and I'll set this on the thing and I'll give it a tap. Unless my marking stick for the LMI, I have two of them. You know, that's how I find a better way to mark through there. And so he shipped me this. Man, this is cool. You know, you can't drill through it or anything, but I really, really like having that line for the center and the line right here to line up everything, because what I do is put a line on the bridge where I want the pinholes to be. And so being able to line this thing up there, set that right on it, that's going to be really nice. And so, Daniel Higgins, thanks a lot. I'm excited about using that. Man, this is a nice piece of work. He's got the sizes on there. He's got the fractions. He's got the decimals. He's got a reference template. He's got them all. I mean, this is cool. And being clear, it was also really handy. I had a bridge that I couldn't remember if it was 2 1/4 or 2 1/8, and I just shut this right down on top of the pins and boom, 2 1/8. You know, because the bridge pins lined up just perfectly on top of that. So that was pretty cool. So, one more little piece of news. If you guys have been watching my channel at all, you've seen the 73 D28 that I keep using. Well, it's mine. I ended up buying it. The customer ran into some financial difficulties and said, man, I'm going to have to sell it. So I said, yeah, I love this guitar. So we made a deal on it, and the deal is that you know, I'm just telling you this. I'm not making advantage of the customer. What I did is I said, anytime you want to buy it back, I'll sell it back to you for the same price. So I had a guy do that for me with one of my Prues, and I stole it like an idiot. And then about 3 years later, I wanted to buy it back, and he sold it back to me for the same price. And so I really appreciated that. So, you know, it ended up being like a 3-year loan. So I told him, I'll tell you what I'll do is I guarantee you that I will keep it. I won't flip it. I'm not into the flipping deal because I really want a 73 D28 to use as a model, and I really like this one. We've used it as a model, obviously, for these, you know, these things. So I'm not in the business of flipping this thing here. And so if I ever do have to sell it myself, because, you know, financial trouble, you know, it happens to everybody. I will give you first dibs on it, and I guarantee it won't happen for a year. And at any time, if you want to buy it back, you can have it back for the same price. So that's cool. So I got a 73 D28 now that we're going to be using as a model a lot, and I actually have it here in Los Alamos because I just brought it along to play it, you know. So anyway, it's got a lot of news there, you know. I'm not happy with the heat sticks. Maybe somebody else is, you know, but I always have this mantra here that you have to be comfortable with your tool. And I'm just not comfortable with the heat sticks. I didn't like the way they performed for me. They have some advantages in that, you know, you don't have the steam going all over the place. But for me, they had a lot of disadvantage in that they didn't get heat all over the joint there, like I talked about earlier. Yeah, they just didn't work the way I wanted them to. It took a long time. That run was in there for an hour, and the heel was, you know, hot, and I just didn't like that. Like I said, I was, you know, trying to push on them. I actually ended up taking out of my table jig here and actually wiggling it by hand the old-fashioned way to get it loose. I couldn't use my little jig here, which I have in another video, the neck press jig. Go look at that. On this guitar that I just did, I put it in the neck press jig and took 5 minutes, and I actually was getting a little too much water, so I pulled the needle off, and when I pulled the needle off, the neck came off with it. So it was ready to go, you know. Okay, so I'm not happy with the sticks. However, I will say that, you know, I bought this and it cost me almost more than $200, and they revised them now so that I just went and looked at the website to see, because I was going to sell it. And they revised it with the heat sticks. They actually have their own power unit. So you can use 2 of these and play, and each one has their own power unit. Man, that is a massive upgrade. And you can get 2 of these for about $40, something ridiculous. It's not even worth selling mine, you know? And I might use it for something, you know, we'll see. Anyway, I'm not happy with heat sticks. I'm back to the steam again. I'm happy with steam. Less than $20 to get the steaming jig set up. That is a car out on the street, through the building, out on the street. People have got absolutely the loudest cars in the world here, and they drag race up and down the street just like that. Anyway, that was amazingly loud. Got my steamer set up, less than $20. I'm happy. I am going to get the StreamHack needle. Probably just go order that right now. I got these really cool templates, and I'm really excited about that. I have customers have built me some of my best tools. You know, these that I just showed you. Customer built these for me. I asked someone on Flatpick L, I said, I need a welder or somebody to make these. Rusty Smith, I think. There was 2 guys that made them for me. They both did great. I think Rusty Smith. Yeah, see, here's the other one. The other guy did it like this, where he used a thinner handle, and they're both good. This one gets loose and rotates, and I put a hose clamp on it. The other ones, after getting heated a million thousand times, dry out, and this gets loose here. So, but it still stays on the handle. So, you know, I could fix that. But after years and years and years of getting heated, I'm not surprised, you know. But 2 guys sent me their deal. Oh yeah, and this one went so far as to put my name on it. And I know, I'm pretty sure Rusty Smith of it, and I wish I could remember that guy, but boy, thank you guys both. I've been using those things for 20 years, long time. Customers have built me some really cool tools. I'm excited about using these. Okay, let's get out of here. This is just a short, quick video on the GoPro, and I bet it's echoey in here because this is a small room with tiles, but music sounds really good in here. I bring a spare phone in, I'm just telling you this. I have this spare phone that I got for free that I don't use, and I use this thing as an Android tablet. So I use it to play music in here, and I use it for my heart rate monitor, get my bicycle rides and all that kind of thing. And that way I never lose my main phone. It's not even got a SIM chip in it. I just use this little Android tablet, and it's really cool for that. So, but music sounds terrific in here. I'm sure this camera's a little bit boomy because it's also got its back to the wall, and it doesn't like that. But gosh, speaking of customers, I mean, this is a GoPro 10 with the forward-facing camera. One of my customers gave me this. Same customer that sent us the Authentics that I've been reviewing lately. I just happened to mention one time, man, I said, I wish I had a GoPro 10 that has the monitor on the front so that I can see what I'm doing. I can watch myself wave my hands and things like that. And next thing I know, there's a GoPro 10 in the mail. Gosh, I mean, thanks a lot. And I haven't had an opportunity to use it as much as I wanted to, just because I don't film that much here in Los Alamos. Got to start rectifying that, you know. As I get more and more stuff in here, and this shop gets more and more functional. And I'm going to try to start doing short videos, which means I should be quiet and push the button on the top and go publish this. So, we'll see ya.